So now we're going to go ahead and make the Mexican restaurant style homemade salsa. And the ingredients you're going to need are not that many, and they're pretty inexpensive. You're going to want a 15-ounce can of diced peeled tomatoes. You can also use 15 ounces and peel and dice the tomatoes yourself, but I didn't want to, so I didn't. You're going to want about a half a cup of cilantro, about a half of a small onion that's just been roughly chopped, and about one medium-sized clove of garlic, a half of a jalapeno just finely cut up, and I've taken the seeds out. If you like a little bit more heat, you can keep the seeds in or add a whole jalapeno. It's up to you. My tolerance for heat is about low to medium, so I just do a half of a de-seeded jalapeno. And then you're going to want to do about a teaspoon of sugar. You don't want a whole lot of sugar, but you do want something that to kind of counteract the acidity of the tomato. And then you're going to do a quarter teaspoon of oregano, a quarter teaspoon of cumin, and about 2 to 3 teaspoons of salt, which I've got over there. And let's see, anywhere between, I would say, 3 to 4 tablespoons of lime juice. Some people don't like a whole lot of lime juice in their salsa. I like, in my opinion, like a moderate to a little bit of a larger amount as far as the taste goes. So I'm going to use probably about 4 teaspoons. I'm going to go get the salt and we'll get started. And this is pretty easy. All you do is pour everything into a blender or a food processor, and it comes together really quick, and it does most of the work. So I'm going to add the tomatoes, cilantro, onion, the garlic. You don't have to chop it, just put it in the whole clove, and the jalapeno. Do the 1, 2, that's about a teaspoon of sugar. And like I said, I like a lot of lime, so I'm going to add some extra. I'm going to probably go for about 4 teaspoons. Maybe about 5. I think I put about 5 in there, because that's just good shit, in my opinion. Okay. And then a quarter teaspoon of oregano. If you have Mexican oregano, that would be best. I don't. I'm just using regular. But Mexican oregano, it definitely does have a different taste to it, more of a spice. It's not like regular Italian oregano. But regular oregano works just fine, and that's what I've always used. And about a quarter teaspoon of cumin. Cumin's a really pungent flavor. But it is a common flavor, and it goes into most Mexican dishes. So it's part of that flavor profile that you taste when you only taste food at Mexican restaurants or Mexican dishes. So it's a good ingredient to put in there, but you just don't want to put too much. So, I'm not putting all that in. Okay. It's about a quarter teaspoon of that. Pop this one. Sorry, it's going to get loud. And then I'm going to try to chop it up. Just get it to a consistency that you like. When I think of restaurant salsa, I think of not a super blended, soupy, or pasty looking salsa. I just think of kind of thin with thin chunks in it. So that's what I'm going to go for. I'll see how it goes. Yep, That is about the consistency that I want. So I'm going to try to move all of this out of my way. Throw that away. Just pour some in here so you guys can see what it looks like. Alright. And this is what you have. It's kind of hard to see. So it's, oh, that almost came out. It is, it's got the thin chunks of the tomato and the garlic and the cilantro in there and the onion, but it is not fully into like fully incorporated mode. It's still got some fine chunks. So that's the way I like it. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to try it with some of my homemade tortilla chips. See what it tastes like. And these crunched up really nice. They taste legit. Again, it's just frying them in vegetable oil, and as soon as they come out of the fryer, put a little salt on them, and they're really good quality. It's just, if you want to make tortilla chips that taste like they come from a Mexican restaurant and you can't find anything comparable in the store, I haven't found anything, so I make them like this. So I'm going to give them a try. Yep. That's the stuff. If you go to a Mexican restaurant and you get the salsa that, like I described, they are in fine chunks but not quite soupy, and they've got that fresh herb, fresh tomato acidic flavor, I would recommend this recipe. I'd also recommend these. They're very easy to make. If you don't want to deep fry tortillas, one thing you can do is you can take the tortillas, the small ones, motherfucker, and you can brush each of them with a thin layer of vegetable oil on each side. Stack them up, cut them into quarters like I did right before I fried them, but instead put them on a single layer on a baking sheet and bake them at 375 from anywhere between like 8 to 10 minutes. You want to watch the color on those too. The color, you don't have to be as scared of watching the color as closely in the oven because it's not going to darken as quickly as it will in a fryer, but yeah, about 8 to 10 minutes. And that'll give you kind of a comparable texture and quality. I would actually prefer doing them in the oven versus going out and buying them in the store, so if you want to try that alternative, it's really easy as well. But I like the deep fried. They taste legit. And like I said, if you want a lot of salt on your chips, put a lot of salt on your chips. If you want none, don't put any. If you want a little bit, just a little hint of salt with your tortilla chips, put a little bit. But yeah, this is a pretty good recipe. I'm pretty happy with it, and I've enjoyed making it for the past couple years since I've kind of found it and tweaked it. So if you want to make Copycat Mexican restaurant style homemade chips and salsa, I would give this one a try. It's really simple and it comes out really well. So if you guys try it, hope you enjoy. Take care of yourselves, and I will show you how to make some queso, some Mexican restaurant style white queso in the next video to go with these.